Hi, welcome to the concluding part of our episode 3 video for Literature in English JAMB for this year. Now, the first part we took 1 to 20, that was 3A. For 3B, we're going to continue from 21 until the end. Sit down and relax, and let's return to it. Welcome back. My name is David and this is All CVTs. This video is sponsored by All School Labs, our partners, a major giant in laboratory equipment and school science supplies. So go visit them and order from them today. Now we're going to continue from question 21. Don't forget that if you have questions, feedback, comments, or you need clarity, you can use this section to reach me directly. And I hope that the questions I asked in 3A, you answered them in the comment section. If you didn't, go and do that because I will assess your questions and I would let you know if you are correct or wrong. I will be giving you a classwork in this set of questions as well, and probably an assignment or a take home. Right, so let us begin. This question is based on Buchi's Emecheta. So Buchi Emecheta is the writer, and the title of the work is The Joys of Motherhood. Why did Naife blame Nugu for his problems? And if you've read that piece of work, you would have found out that Nugu is the wife, of Naife. Naife. Now, why did Naife blame his wife for his problems? A, because his daughters slapped him. No. Because his daughters disobeyed him by traveling abroad. No. Because his daughters disobeyed him by moving with prostitutes. No. That's not why. Because his daughter ran away with a Yoruba man. You know, once you see the name Nna, you can tell that this is Igbo. And of course, the book is a central Igbo theme. Okay, so the long and short story is that Onogu supported the marriage of his daughter with a Yoruba man, which was like a slap to Nafi, and felt like she brought him so much trouble, Right, so D is the correct option. Okay, question next. This question is based on J.C. de Graft's Sons and Daughters. So the writer of the work is J.C. de Graft, and the title is what? Sons and Daughters. Okay, personal aunt to Aaron and Manan is Dash. If you have read that book, or at least have an idea of this, you would know that the personal aunt to Aaron and Manan is Aunt Adwao. Okay, Aunt Adwao. Next question. This question is based on Williams Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet. In Romeo and Juliet, the major role of Mercutio is Dash. And who was Mercutio? Mercutio was Romeo's assistant. Okay, was Romeo's assistant. So, what was his major role? You can see it there. He was to assist him as an assistant to Romeo. Of course, it was going to annoy Tybalt, of course, but his major role was to assist Romeo. Okay, then 24. The question is based on Buchi Emete's Joys of Motherhood. In Naife's house, life became miserable to Nugu by the news that life became hard to his wife by the news that what? Naife's brother had died. Well, that was not what made life hard for his wife, so we crossed that out. Naife had inherited buildings and properties. No, her life should have been easier if he had inherited buildings and properties. Naife had lost Ngozi. Naife had inherited his brother's wives and children. You remember, he inherited Adaku, inherited children. So and then based on his little job, he was not able to afford to give everybody that good care. Okay, so he
Get the cheapest science materials from allschoollabs.com.
just made life harder, especially in the domestic aspect for Unogo. Yeah. Okay. 25. Exposition in a play. Now, if you don't know what exposition means, I mean, if you cannot define exposition, you probably won't be able to answer this question. But exposition means to expose, to bring to light, to describe, to lay bare. So exposition in a play means what? The initial unfolding of the necessary background of the play. Yes, that's the answer right there. But let's see other option. It's climax. No, that would be peak, right? Climax will be peak. The marriage of the hero and heroine. No. Untangling of the plot. No, 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 no. So it is unfolding, like we've established. The expository, the play. 26. A novel can be described as a narration of facts, story, a brief description of a concept or point of view, an extended prose narrative covering a wide range of characters and experience, a narration of an incident. Right, so you have a narration, a story. A story is bland, it's not specific. So a narration of facts, not specific. Novella is also a narration of facts. Okay, so this will be correct. An extended prose narrative. So novel is extended narrative of a story. Novella is shorter. 27. A good plot must possess which of these attributes? Many exciting events. Okay, good interesting characters. A pleasant setting, intrigue, unified, complete, and ordered action. Okay, there are more than one correct options here, but one of them is fuller. Okay, it's more encompassing. So a good plot must be complete, concise and complete. Then it must be ordered. Okay, so from low to peak, from low to climax, and then a decline. So it must be ordered, it must be unified, it must be around a central idea. So we'll go with this because it's more encompassing than all of this. It doesn't have to have a pleasant setting. Okay, it could be intriguing. Sometimes it couldn't be sometimes. Okay, although it should be. And then many times they don't have characters at all. It may just be a narration. So this option E covers is a broader answer to the question. 28. Pick out the odd one. Metaphor, characterization, personification, reading, simile. Okay, so the odd one there is what? Characterization. This is the odd one. Okay, the rest are figures of speech. This is an attribute, like feature of something. 29. Events in the concubine. Okay, this is the name of the work. Are dominated by dash. The primary character in that concubine is Ihuoma. Do you remember that? So events in the concubine are dominated by, it's a book that tells on spiritual power or spirituality, gods and goddesses, and spiritual force. So spiritual elements is the central theme or central idea of the work. 30. In Come Away My Love, Haruko deals with the problems of what? Now, in this work, Come Away My Love, Haruko expresses or explains the problems of interracial relationships, people who are between, that are separated by lines of race, boundaries, and territories. So the correct option would be love between people of different race, people of different ideas and ideologies. That's what this play centers on. Next question. One of the following is a mark of good poetry. How do you know good poetry? An interesting story, imaginative use of language, realistic characterization, flashback, audience participation. Because poetry is usually an outflow of thoughts, okay? An outflow of thoughts.
Run quick tests and analysis. Visit analysis.africa.
The most the most related option, or the option that is the most correct, or the more correct from all of these, the most correct would be the appropriate term, would be imaginative use of language. Your imagination has to be effective. You have to effectively use your imagination when you are writing a poetry, because you want to carry us, you want to bring the writer into that picture. You want to paint pictures to the writer of a scene, a place, and you are using inanimate and animate objects to bring the reader to an idea, a theme. Good. So it's an imaginative use of language, right? So you are not speaking in literal terms, but the reader, in pure literal terms, but the reader have a deep understanding of what you're saying. Good. Okay. 32. In Night of Saying, the word dark in Listen to Our Dark Blood Beat, right? Here it is, right there. Listen to our dark blood beat is used what? Biologically? No, it wasn't biologically. Scientifically? Figuratively, yes. It's used figuratively. Dark blood, that's the exact phrase that was used figuratively. Okay, next, in Wild Grapes, the narrator says, "You see me celebrate 2 birthdays and give myself out as 2 different ages because." Why? In Wild Grapes, this is the title of the work. Why? Because she had earlier given a false birthday. Not that she was reincarnated or born twice. No. So it's not this. She had declared a false age first. So the first age was false. Okay, 34. Strange Meeting reveals the absurdity of what? Strange Meeting is a literal work on that gives the chaos, the confusion, and the hefty price of war. So it sheds light on war and the hefty price that is paid for conflicts or during conflicts. So it's a work on the absurdity of war, why we should not go that way. Now, Romeo and Juliet. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Okay, this was said by Juliet, right, to Romeo, regarding Romeo. Juliet makes this statement. Why? Okay, from the book Romeo and Juliet. Because she hates Romeo? No, she was madly in love with Romeo. So no, she hates Romeo's father. No, she's anxious to marry Romeo. No. Okay, Romeo belonged to a particular family name. I'm trying to remember that name now. Magnet or magnet, something like that. I would remember. When I remember, I'll tell you. He belonged to that family name, okay, and she didn't like to marry from that family, so she wished that he could bear another name, not that family name. She wished that he wasn't from that family or didn't bear that family name. You understand? So that's why she's saying she wished she could deny his father, not that she hates his father or wish his father dead, but that name, where it came from, was what did not, she wasn't working with. Okay, a reason in the sun. That is it. There you are. Man says to his woman, got me a dream. His woman got me a dream. His woman says, I got to take hold of this hair world, baby. And a woman will say, eat your eggs and go to work. A dream in this speech refers to. If you are somebody that don't follow poets and poetry and prose, those kind of writings, you are only on drama. When you see this, you'll be like, what is this? Right. So, um, I got to take hold of this here word, baby. And a woman will say, eat your eggs and go to work. A dream in this speech refers to what? What is the dream of? You can see a male figure speaking to a female figure in this excerpt. So, the male is saying to the female figure, I have a dream. A dream. Now, what's that dream that the male figure has? It's an excerpt from Raising the Sun. What's an excerpt? A quote. Okay, and that dream is that he had a dream to operate, to own a big liquor store. A liquor store would be like a beer store, a beer company, a beer parlor. Okay, next. I lingered over the choice, but in the darkness of my doubt, you lifted the lamp of love, and I saw in your face the road that I should take. Hey, you very well. In the match, the poet lingered over the choice because why? It says he lingered over the choice. He was thinking, should I go for her? Should I not go for her? Should I? But he saw her face and he knew that, boy, I think I'll go. I think I'm going for her. So what's going on with the guy? Yeah, quarrel with the lady. No, quarrel, okay. He's in love. He's not yet sure of the lady's love. No. He's not sure of his own self. He's in between. Am I sure? Am I taking this lady? Or do I take the other lady? Am I sure of this
400,000 cheap medicines, cosmetics, and analytical supplies. Everything in one big place. allschoollabs.com.
lady? See, so it's not about the lady, it's about him. He was lingering over the choice between her and someone else until he saw her face and saw that, man, this is who I should be with. Next, in telephone conversation, the tone of the question, you mean like playing or make chocolate? This is Shoyinka's work. Okay, you mean like plain or milk chocolate is what? Let's say sarcastic. It was actually a sarcastic expression, okay, in his work. Okay, and then the sixth question 39. So we are missing one question. Okay, but this is where we're going to stop. In a portrait, a poet rises. At mankind feast, I take my place in solemn sanctimonious state, and have the air of saying grace while I defy the dinner plate. The tone of this passage may be described as what? In a portrait, a poet writes, at mankind's feast I take my place, in solemn sanctimonious state, and have the air of saying grace while I defy the dinner place. He's mocking himself, like outwardly, I look calm and like I cannot eat one echo, but I want to defile this plate. So it's not solemn, it's not an angry expression, it's mocking himself. That what you are looking at outwardly is like when you go to a party, you are really hungry, okay, and then they bring you your food and you're just eating like because you're in the public, whereas you really want to pounce in there. You understand? So that's what's happening here. It's self mockery. Okay. With that, we come to the end of part 3B of this beautiful class as we prepare for our oncoming JAMB exam. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have questions. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And go download our apps to practice hundreds of these questions for free. I'll see you in part 4. Keep studying. Bye. Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the video you just watched. To see more content as that, preparing you for your upcoming exam, make sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on notification. Also, remember that you can use the comment section to send us your questions or your inquiries, and we are happy to take them. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.